I've generated over $15 million in email sales for dozens of e-commerce brands, and in this video, I'm gonna show you the exact strategies that we're using on a daily basis to get great results for 7- and 8-figure brands. But before I get into the content itself, just some proof for you. So this is first brand from the supplements niche, where we made them 1.4 mil from in the last few months. Big part of that were flows. 210k in revenue, majority was campaigns, but still not a bad score at all. Another brand where over 70% of their revenue from this period, which is from 1.5 mil, came from flows. So in the last 5 months, we've made them, almost 1 million from flows alone. Another brand where we made them 270k from flows and 420k in total. And this brand where we took them from no email at all to making them over 550k in 2 months. And flows made over 380k from this, which is not a bad score as well. So now let me cover all of these flows and don't get confused or scared, because I'm gonna break them down one by one, just step by step, so that you understand all of these. Just very quick rundown. So the first 5 flows, which is the welcome flow, abandon checkout, cart, browse and site, are pre-purchase flows, which is anything that happens before someone makes a purchase. And the other flows are post-purchase, replenishment, customer win-back, and first purchase anniversary. These are all of important flows that are responsible for generating a ton of revenue. So let's start with the welcome flow. As you can see, I've also added filters for any flow so that you can once again easily copy and paste the structure for your brand to be sure that you're getting great results from these flows. Welcome flow, this is gonna be the most important one. It should generate, not should, but it can generate up to 10% of your total stores revenue. For the filters themselves, we are excluding people who bounce, people who are started the checkout in the last 1 hour. So we're excluding anyone who subscribed to your email list through the checkout, and we're also excluding anyone who made the purchase since starting this flow to prevent them from getting the following emails in this flow. The trigger itself is people who joined your email list, and the first email should be just showing them the incentive, whatever that might be. Just deliver on the promise that you made on the pop-up. If your promise was 10% off, give them 10% off. Usually you can also show best sellers and 1 review in this email. You don't want to make this too long. People are mainly opening it for the sake of getting their discount. Then you can wait between 12 hours to 24 hours. And email number 2 would be clearing any objections they have and talking about your guarantees. This will help them make decisions faster and essentially get them to buy from you. The third email should be talking about you versus other brands, competitors, and it should be talking about why you are better and superior to these brands, which is also your unique selling proposition. In email number 4, you should be talking about your social proof, so any reviews, testimonials you have, any authority mentions, like for example maybe Forbes article mentioned you, or TechCrunch, or anything else. You want to mention that. For the email number 5, you want to drive the urgency, which is gonna be incentive last call, and just remind people, hey, your discount is expiring, you're either gonna claim it now or it's gonna be too late soon. This is it for the welcome flow. If you want to learn how to create an exact welcome flow we are using for our clients with email examples and all of the principles, trends and stuff like that, you can watch my other video, which is gonna show up now on the screen. It's the entire welcome flow masterclass, which is gonna be more in depth, just covering all of the purposes behind every single email. But if not, then you can just follow this this outline, and it's also gonna get you great results. Now for the abandoned cart and checkout flow, the truth is that both of these are having the same emails in these flows. The main difference is the trigger. So a lot of people or brands think that they have abandoned cart flow, but in reality they refer to abandoned checkout flow. But you need both, because in majority of the cases, abandoned cart flow can double your cart recovery, which would be sales from abandoned checkout flow only. They can 2x it by just having this flow. Once again, the emails in both these flows are gonna be the same. The main difference is gonna be the trigger. So checkout started versus added to cart, and filters. For abandoned checkout, you want to exclude people who have been in this flow in the last 5 days, and anyone who has placed orders since starting this flow, once again, to prevent people from getting the following emails. And to quickly explain it, if someone receives email number 1 and they don't buy, receive email 2, and then they purchase, if you have this filter, they won't be getting emails 3, 4, and 5, which is something that you want, because it just makes sure that your entire customer journey is better. As simple as that. And filters for abandoned cart flow are gonna be checkout started 0 times since starting this flow, so that if someone is gonna start abandoned checkout flow, they're gonna get this flow. That's why we have these filters. And as you can see, the time delay or exclusion is a little bit longer, mainly because the abandoned checkout flow has higher buying intent than the abandoned cart flow. So if someone would start checkout after another 5 or 6 days, they would be getting this flow right away. For the time delay for the first email, and this is true for both of the flows, you want to A/B test it. Usually it's gonna be 30 minutes versus 2 hours, and there's really no rule which one will do better. We've seen cases where high ticket brands were seeing better results with short time delays, but also the others were seeing better with longer time delays. And same goes for low ticket products. No rule for this, that's why you need to test it. The first email itself is just reminding people about their cart. As simple as that. People sometimes just get distracted and forget to finish the purchase, so we want to remind them about this. Email number 2 should be talking about your guarantees and any risk reversals. So for example, 30-day money back guarantee, free returns, stuff like that. Free shipping as well. If you have it, then obviously mention it. Email number 3 should be giving them a discount. As you can see, we're not giving it right away because these two emails are just covering some different objections which aren't pricing objection. But in the email number 3, we're targeting this pricing objection by giving them some kind of discount and also talking about your USP or solving another objection. Email number 4 should be about your social proof and reminding about the code. Email number 5 should be just the last reminder for the discount code itself. As simple as that. Once again, nothing to complicate. And you might be wondering, okay, is this good enough? Do I need more emails? The truth is that for these flows, you really don't need it. For the welcome flow, I've seen cases where the flows were over like 10 emails long, and we've built flows like that as well. But usually these were highly niche products and brands which needed a lot of education on the email side. But for majority of the brands, these 5 emails will be responsible for 90% of the sales anyways. Now the other 2 remaining pre-purchase flows. First one being browse abandonment. As you can see, the filters are quite similar, with the difference that we're excluding anyone has also started or added to cart to prevent them from getting abandoned cart flow as well. And the time delay or time exclusion will be 15 days just because we don't want to send this flow quite too often. The buying intent isn't that high, so we want to be cautious. For the time delay, the same is true. You want to A/B test it for the first email, and the first email is also gonna be reminding them about the product they've been browsing. The best way thing to do here is to give them or show them dynamic cart or dynamic section. This way, if you show them the exact products that they have added to cart, checkout, or that they've been on the product page, then they're gonna react better, mainly because it's gonna be more relevant to them. Like if you're gonna show them some kind of lifestyle photo, it's still gonna be okay. But if you show them the exact product they've been, seeing 1 hour ago or 2 hours ago, you're gonna be like, damn, I remember this. What is it about? So it's gonna, be more catchy and the hook will be better in this email essentially. For the second email, same about the time delays. Usually you can test 12 hours versus 24 hours, and you want to promote bestsellers, mainly because if someone was just browsing around, they haven't added any product to cart, you want to show them bestsellers because we know that these convert well. So it's a proven product that you want to promote in the second email. Another email number 3, you should be giving them some kind of an incentive and then showing them reviews, just as much social proof as you can. Email number 4 should be talking about your USP and any guarantees that you have, and email number 5 should be incentive last call, just to build up some urgency. Another flow, which is site abandonment. This one is the least usually performing in terms of revenue, mainly because buying intent is so low. These are people who have been on your page but haven't visited any of the product pages. Right now there's also a new metric called viewed collection, which allows you to create collection abandonment flow. If you want to see how to do this, make sure to watch my other video, which talks about, the newest Klaviyo update and 3 new flows that you're probably missing out on. But aside from this, site abandonment is the lowest intent buying intent flow out of all pre-purchase flows. And usually we also like to target only non-buyers with this one, mainly because if someone purchased from you, they can still trigger active on site metric and they would get site abandonment flow, which, promotes bestsellers and help, which is quite weird. If you're sending this email to your buyers and talking like, hey, if you don't know what to choose, like they've just bought from you, like they know what to choose, so don't send them this flow. That's why this filter is so important. The trigger itself is gonna be active on site, time delay, the same rules apply, split test it, and as I said, it's gonna be the lowest buying intent flow, so you don't want to be sending too many emails to those people, otherwise it might result in high unsubscribe rate, bounce rate, and spam rate. The email itself should be talking about bestsellers and just offering them help, like, hey, here are some of our bestsellers, but if you still need some other help or you don't know how to make the choice, let us know, reply to this email and we're gonna help you out. It's great because it shows that you care as a brand and people can count on you, but then if they reply to the email, it's also gonna help you with deliverability because replies are the best form of engagement for any inbox provider and it's gonna boost your domain's reputation. We've already covered pre-purchase flows, all of them. Now let's cover post-purchase flows. And don't get confused, this one is post-purchase, but we have other post-purchase flows which we are using to increase your LTV and AOV as well. Let's start with post-purchase flow, which is gonna have trigger placed order, and then the first email is just thanking people for the order. Now, before I get into the other emails in this flow, 2 important things. First one is for you to like and subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, it's gonna help the algorithm. and you subscribe to the channel, you're gonna get, updates on my new videos, which are gonna be covering the newest strategies that you can implement for your brand. The other important thing is that this flow, the post-purchase flow, isn't really meant to sell, as you're gonna see, quite soon. Its mainly purpose is to educate people, get them closer to the brand, and make sure that they are using product the right way. Because this is what you want to accomplish after, getting them to buy from you, is making sure that they know how to use the product and get the best results. For two reasons. First one is you're gonna leave a review, which is most likely gonna be a 5-star one if they get the desired results. And secondly, if they're happy with the product and brand, the chances of them buying more from you are higher. So we want to accomplish both of these with this flow. That's why in some cases you might not see having great results and a lot of sales, but sometimes we've seen otherwise. I just want to let you know that if you are not making that many sales with this flow, you shouldn't be worried about it. It's not like it should be like that, but it's expected that it's not selling that much because there's not much selling in the email, in the flow itself. After email number 1, you want to send second email. Usually we like to send it after 1 hour and be like very quick, bounce back, immediate upsell, cross sell. And this is really like the main hard sell in this flow. And if there's any revenue coming from this flow, it should be from this email. You want to cross-sell them or upsell them instantly, being like, hey, we are about to ship your order. If you want to buy more from us, now is the time to do it. Check out these best sellers, or if you want to get even better results for this email, you can offer them a discount as well, and it is gonna incentivize them more. Email number 3, which is gonna be usually 2 days after the initial purchase, right? Or maybe even 1 day. But you want to remove any buyer's remorse that people might have. So you want to build trust and show them like, hey, it's a great decision. For example, if someone bought, I don't know, clothing from you, or maybe a piece of jewelry, like a ring, like, hey, this is Alex from, jewelrybrand.co, whatever. Thank you so much for buying. We are using the highest quality diamonds, and our, gold is, you can explain a little bit more about your process. And then this is gonna tell them like, okay, I made the right choice. I won't regret it. I'm happy I bought from them. This is gonna help you lower your return rate on the other hand. So you can also use the from the founder angle. If you want to have like even more personalized approach, do plain text email as well. Email number 4, which is gonna be between 1 to 3 days after email number 3, instructions on how to use the product. If you have any FAQs, guides, user manuals, anything like that, share this in this email to make sure that people know how to use the product. If you don't have any instructions, send them in the email itself. So the email itself should be the instruction for people. If it's gonna be like that, make sure to tell them to bookmark it or, star it. This way it's gonna help with deliverability, but then they'll also have easy access to the instructions on how to use the product. Email number 5, this is optional email. If you don't have any relevant blog articles or content, skip it, don't send it. But if you do have any relevant blog articles, then you want to send it as well. For example, one of our clients is selling macrame supplies, and they have a bunch of blog articles on how to create macrame projects. It's very relevant because like if someone bought cords from you or materials on how to create the product, DIY kit, or any DIY project, you want to show them how to do it. They're gonna value it because it's like just giving them extra value. Email number 6 is gonna be either cross-sell, upsell, or referral system. You won't be cross-selling or hard selling that much as in the second email, but you still want to do it like quite softly, like, hey, if you're enjoying your product, this is what other customers like as well. You might like it too, something like this. But on the other hand, if you have any kind of referral system or loyalty programs, you want to introduce them as well. Now you're gonna do, the last emails are gonna be something called NPS, which is Net Promoter Score, and you're gonna be getting feedback from your customers. As you can see, time delay is quite long for this, mainly because we want to make sure that, first of all, people got their order delivered. Secondly, they've used it, and thirdly, they had time to get results with the product, especially if it's, for example, in the supplements niche. You don't want to be sending it too quickly, because if it takes, for example, on average 10 days for your product to show some, actual benefits and physical, for example, changes, then you want to wait until that happens to make sure that you're sending it at the right time. Now, sending the NPS email itself is super simple. It's like, hey, we will just, hear from you. What kind of rating are you gonna give us? Rate us between 1 to 10 to let us know about the product and our experience and everything else. Within the email itself, people are gonna be able to click and rate you between 1 to 10. You're gonna create the custom property in Klaviyo so that you can create the segment of these people. But then what happens is that if someone rates you 8 or above, you're gonna ask them or send them to the leave a review page. If they rate you below 7 or 7, you're gonna send them to the feedback form and collect the data on what could be done better. So feedback form, right? And then after 7 to 14 days, you're sending a follow-up email, which will also have a split, like I said before. If someone rated you 8, 9 or 10, you're gonna ask them to leave a review. If they rated you as 7 or below, you're gonna ask them to give a feedback and fill out the feedback form. This is great because this way you're asking for a review from people who rated you well, and you're gonna avoid getting poor reviews from your emails, which is like a life hack a little bit. Now it's time for replenishment flow. It's not gonna be applicable to all of the brands. It's gonna be applicable to brands which products can be replenished. So supplements, once again, McCream supplies, stuff like that. If someone is using it continuously and they run out of the product, they need to replenish it. Coffee is another great example. E-filter itself is placed order 0 times since starting this flow, mainly because if someone just bought from you after 15 days, there is no need to send them replenishment flow because they've already replenished themselves without you lifting a finger. You want to wait between 15 to 25 days, and I know this is like a wide spread of time delay, but you need to adjust it to your brand. If your brand has shipping time of 1 day and it takes on average 10 days for people to see the results, you can send them the replenishment flow after 2 weeks, because chances are they're gonna be half throughout the, for example, supplement bottle, they're gonna be seeing the results and they're gonna already know, okay, if I wanna use it more or not, right? On the other hand, if you have long shipping time, I don't know, between 5 to 7 days, then it takes people to, for example, 3 weeks to see the results from the product. Then you would more likely make this time delay longer, like 25 days or 30 days. The email first should be, or the first email should be talking about acting like a simple reminder. Hey, if you're running out of the good stuff, come back, replenish, it's gonna be great. Then you're gonna wait another 3 to 5 days and be like, hey, it's time to replenish. If pricing is one of the most common objections, then, just break down the price by day and be like, hey, it may seem like it costs $60, but in reality it's $2 per day, which is less than a coffee, right? And for example, you're getting improved focus without energy drops throughout the day and any negative effects that coffee has on you. Then you're also gonna try to upsell them to subscription, which is obviously better, and I mean it's also gonna show them the savings from subscription. It can be 5, 10 or 15%, whatever, but you want to be selling them subscription as much as possible. And then the third email is gonna be talking about benefits of the product, about your USPs, and also about you versus others. That's mainly because if someone bought from you and someone is, in the market for the solution to their problem, they're either gonna buy from you or from someone else because they want to have their problem solved. So I kind of want to talk about why they bought from you in the first place. And that's why it works so well. If you want to have better results on this flow, you can just, add the discount from email number 1. Usually I still recommend adding a discount as email number 2 and 3. And leaving email number 1 as like a simple reminder. Now it's time for customer win-back flow. The flow filter is gonna be the exact same one as replenishment, mainly because, the customer win-back flow has the same trigger, the same filter, because technically replenishment is like shorter customer win-back, and customer win-back is if someone didn't replenish, they haven't bought from you for a while, you're trying to win back their business and get them to buy from you. That's how it works essentially. The time delay for the first email is gonna be between 45 to 90 days. Once again, depending on what your brand looks like and what is the regular buying behavior of those people. If the chances are that usually the lifespan of a customer is shorter, then you want to go with shorter time delay as well to make sure that you target them as quick as possible. If on the other hand, the lifespan of the customer is quite long, you can wait a little bit longer and target them after 90 days. As the first email, you want to send them quite of an update. So tell them like, it's been a while and show them what's new at your brand. Then as email number 2, you're gonna wait once again between 5 to 15 days. You're gonna show them your best sellers. Once again, talk about why they should be buying from you versus competitors. Just to like kind of keep telling them like, okay, this is why you bought from us in the first place. And you can show them some kind of incentive because you're winning them back. Like if they didn't buy from you at this point, after 45 or 90 days from the initial purchase, then the chances of them churning are quite high. So it's still worth it for you to give a discount and get back this customer to buy from you once again. Email number 3 itself, it should be just like a last call just to add some urgency and try to upsell them subscription if you have it. Now, last but not least is gonna be first purchase anniversary flow, where the trigger is the same, which is placed order, right? Because post-purchase flow, but you're gonna wait an exact year after you send the first email, and the first email itself should be like anniversary one. So, hey, it's been our first year together. Thanks so much for starting your journey with us. To celebrate, we're giving you gift, which is, and you're gonna give your incentive. For example, 20% off, 10% off, $20 off, maybe free gift with purchase, and kind of offer that perceived value is high is gonna do well. But once again, this flow is great. Not many brands are using it, but the angle of gifting and celebrating is super powerful because it doesn't feel that salesy, even though it is super salesy. For email number 2, you want to make it just like a reminder. Hey, your discount is expiring. This is your last chance to use it, or otherwise it will be too late. And honestly, this flow does extremely well, so make sure you set it up. And to be fair, these are the main flows that we are using. But there's one more flow that I didn't really cover on purpose, which is called Sunset Unengaged flow. This flow isn't responsible for generating that many sales, but it's great for boosting your deliverability and cleaning your email list. If you want to see how to set up custom Sunset Unengaged flow and how to clean your email list on autopilot, make sure that you watch this video where I walk you through the exact process on how I do it.